This conference will now be recorded.
Just, edit together.
Okay, so we have two public hearings. The first one is local law number 5. Let's reopen the local law number 5 at this time. That is the retail dispensaries of cannabis. And anybody that would like to comment.
When the village and town wanted the DMV office to come to Lake Placid, I think the reasoning was that we wanted to get the money that we could get and not have people going to Saranac Lake to register their cars or whatever. And I'm just thinking in this day and age that we have an opportunity to make some revenue. Prohibition was a long time ago. I think we have to understand that times have changed, and I'd like to see the village go ahead with a dispensary and get the revenue.
Marty, I apologize again that you didn't get to be part of the earlier discussion, but at this point, what we'll be looking to do will now be to have another public hearing on December 6th. And then at our second board meeting in December, we will vote on it. But then our intention after that is to wait until no more than 60 days before the next village election in March and put this question to the voters, and whatever the voters decide is what we'll do. I don't know if that helps or hurts you in your situation, but that's the intention of the board.
Well, thank you for explaining it.
We just felt that there are some decisions that are bigger than the board, and since we have this unique opportunity, we would put it to the voters and let them make the decision.
So I think it's a great idea, Art, that it's going to go out to the community and enable the community to make the decision.
The
I think
village.
that there's no harm right now in opting out because we can always opt in. I have a concern as a resident about enforcement, not only for the village, but also for the town. We're stretched very thin as it is right now. And I'm not sure that we would have the resources that were needed to be able to support the law, both in the town and the village, if we opted in at this point in time. I also think it could be very advantageous for us if we're able to watch what happens in other communities that decide to opt in now or not opt out, and learn from what's happening within their communities, enabling us to be smart about some of the operational and location restrictions that we're able to put into place for both dispensaries and bars. And that's
Kate,
my
when you
thought.
said we wouldn't have the resources to police this, you do realize that it's a state licensing agent, and if you don't get a license, you can't sell them, and if you do, you can. I mean, the police force would really have no interaction with the dispensaries.
Maybe we're referencing, Kate, use like on Main Street or just out in public, is that?
That too.
Yeah. But just for my own clarification, this isn't a public hearing, we're just entertaining conversation since they.
No, we reopened the public hearing.
Okay, 'cause normally.
But there are aspects of the law too, Art, around where this can and cannot be. There are aspects that the village and the town can legislate on where things can run and how long they can operate. All of that needs to be enforceable too. So
Talk about zoning laws, right?
yeah. So
The state wouldn't give anybody a license for a location that doesn't meet local zoning, right?
Remember too, that everything, all the information we're getting is that it's going to be a year to a year and a half at the minimum before they'll even license the first retail dispensary. So we will have time to think about this. But the thing that we don't have time to do is to opt in or
Opt
or
out.
opt out.
opt out. Yeah. We can, once we opt in, we're in, but we only have one chance to opt out if we think we want to slow the boat a little bit, at least for us. That's my only point.
And I misspoke when I said opt-in, because if we do nothing, that happens automatically. The only real option we have is just to opt out, but, which we are doing. And as I say, it is our board's intention to put this on the ballot. And
Art, if I may, and it's up to Anita, if you can put, Art and Janet went through the board's intention and the legal procedures and steps at which you were not privy to because of the meeting link. If we post that, they were pretty extensive and thorough about what the board's intent was and the timeline in it. And I think that would help a lot of individuals get the mindset of what the village board was hoping to do. Unfortunately, you didn't have access to that. They were very transparent, very.
Yeah, it'll be posted tomorrow. The video will post tomorrow.
I think it's important to note, we have to opt out. We have to pass these laws to be able to have this on the ballot in March. There's some steps in between there, but if we don't opt out, then it would never be able to go up to the voters.
so we'd be automatically. Anybody else have any questions?
On this particular.
Yeah, on the retail dispensaries? Okay, with no further questions, we will, do I have a motion again to close the public hearing number 5?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passed. And then we will reopen local law number 6, public hearing, which is the on-site consumption bars. Does anybody have any questions or comments there? Once again, you missed all our conversations, Jason
Yeah.
said, due to our errors, but it is our intentions once again to wait the amount of time and put this on the election in March so that the public can decide.
Yeah, my comments would be the same on the in-person consumption lounges.
Okay.
I have a random question with regards to that. Is there obviously you can get driving under the influence, but if we have these, how do they regulate
It's
what?
going to be the same whether we have them or not. If
No,
someone's
but
driving under the influence.
If,
Is that the
if-
question?
like, if you're a bartender and you overserve somebody, it can come back on the bar. But if we have like
None of that's,
a bar or whatever,
none of those regulations are
even out yet.
even out yet.
Okay, just curious.
To be determined.
I think the only thing I've heard them talk about is it's going to be highly regulated. You walk into one of these places to buy, you just don't walk in and buy. You have to give a lot of information and a lot of record keeping. But all of that is to be determined.
Okay, with no other questions, we will close public hearing on local law number 6. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We already have our public hearing open. Do we need to reopen that as well?
Our regular board meeting?
Yeah, we never closed.
No, we never closed.
Okay. Okay, so Kate, that brings us right back to you again. This is for the
Perfect timing.
Village of Lake Placid, the town North Elba's website. The proposal from you, do you just want to give us a quick recap and we'll put it to a vote?
Sure. So as we've been talking the last couple of months, we went through a request for expression of interest for website services, website platform services. And we did a fair amount of evaluation and analysis and recommended that from that we go with Revise. So this is the last, kind of like formal check-in to say, we'd like to recommend Revise as the platform for the town and the village websites. They could provide a much more modern platform than what we're using right now with the desired functional scope, while having a really much easier to use content management system in the back end for everybody to keep the websites up to date. Plus, over time, in comparison to Civic Plus, who was the alternate that we recommended, Revise seems to be much more reasonable in its cost. I'm hoping that you're all looking at that one table where we kind of compared the cost over 4 years with Civic Plus to the cost over 4 years with Revise.
I'll make the motion to approve Revised as the website platform that the village chooses.
Happily second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Kate, thank you for all your work.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Town agrees as well. We've got the draft agreement in our hand. Janet, we already have a list of input already. Will be coming your way shortly, I think, after we see Mindy and Kathy, okay?
Sounds
Thanks
like a
again.
plan.
We look forward to seeing your work.
All right, take care, everybody.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, item D is a Sig Sauer certification course. I believe that was Francis Sergeant Strack. It is going to be going down to Middletown. The cost to attend is $280 and per diem for meals is $120. Does anybody have any questions? I understand that this is a new kind of block for the police department and we do not have anyone that is certified. We need someone. So that's why
6 hours, not a clock.
6
I thought, okay. They
You
need,
gotta read, you gotta.
I did, I thought,
Novels. that-
yeah, I guess I
Yes,
do.
and Dr. Gunsey.
Okay.
I thought it was a lot.
Do I hear a motion?
Yes, I'll make the motion.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Oh, tag home. That's the one.
Okay, the next request is from Adirondack Health for the 12th annual Turkey Trot on November 25th. I believe they didn't have it last year. Is that correct?
Yes. I was with Vic at the town board meeting last week. He said, yeah.
Okay, and I don't know if you've all read the route, but it's the same as they always have coming out of Parkside around the lake and back again. You were going to check with,
Yeah, Chuck actually said it's just slightly different, but he said they'll make it work. It's not.
okay, very good. Does anyone have any questions?
Rick said there's going to be, they anticipate a significant less number of people because of COVID and the holidays and whatnot. So it's not going to be.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Anita, is there anything else to come under clerk items?
Nothing for approval, just my apologies. The right link was sent out, the wrong link was clicked on here. So I think we do agree there will be 2 more public hearings December 6th. Is that correct? Okay, so those notices will go out in the mail.
We need
Not
to set
mail,
that, we need to set that date officially now.
You just set the date, but you gotta get the tape, get it.
Basically, I have to get the notices out, so. yeah,
Do
I'll
we
get
need,
those- get
I
those.
think maybe he was asking, do we need another formal motion to set it? Yeah.
Yes.
I'll move. that
I'm
we
gonna
set
move to
another-
set it.
So a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And do we need to do them individually or both?
You just did them.
You just did both. Good, thank you. Okay, under treasury items, we have warrant affidavit number 7. With Mark.
That's me.
Does anybody have any questions?
Jackie?
Big one.
Poor Jackie. Thank
I've
you.
been waiting all meeting for that.
Do we have a motion to accept?
We
Oh.
have Ricky, big bill.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else to come under treasury items?
Not, no.
Okay. In one of those occasions where we have 5 Tuesdays in the month, and instead of having our board meeting on November 23rd, we've all talked about it in our workshop, we're agreeing to move that to November 30th. Do we need to make a motion on that, or?
Well, you sent out the calendar of events, so I think you have to
I know I
send
left
that out
it.
as a public, as a modified schedule. Yeah, you have to give notice.
Right.
Okay. Anything to come up, anything else under new business?
No,
Anything under old business?
sidewalks look amazing. And the accents put in.
It is starting to fall together, isn't it?
Yes.
My understanding also is from the construction meeting this morning is that on Friday, they'll be taking down the detour.
Friday.
I will say I actually walked the street and I don't generally walk Main Street because,
True.
but so you want to go to the Bush shop. Thanks, Mark. And we actually ate lunch at Players and Brewster Park looks beautiful. It really does.
Wait till it has plantings.
Oh, I know, but just, I noticed a lot of people stop in there to look at the lake and to look around, and it was nice to see that many people, and I mean, it was a Sunday, so it was relatively quiet, but even just walking the street, you can tell a huge difference in.
And this summer, a lot of people going down the staircase, sitting on the rocks to look at the lake.
Mhm.
It would be a nice
Really,
addition.
really nice. They did a great job.
I know we discussed it, I can't remember.
No,
Okay.
I know we've discussed it, and I don't know if it's been brought up as an issue, but the hill, the slope going down to the lake, were we doing anything this winter to prevent kids from using that as a sledding hill?
Brewster Park?
Yeah,
there's gonna be,
Liability?
well, aren't there gonna be Christmas trees in there?
no, I mean, only on each side.
Oh. Where's isn't there some statue thing going in there for,
I
don't think that's gonna happen.
Anyhow,
Right.
we'll see what happens.
I mean, we did talk about it, didn't we?
Yes.
About what?
About that,
Spectacular or the-
no, about that slope.
I don't think any conclusion has
issue.
come to, but I remember the
I mean,
discussion.
maybe does anybody else see it as a concern that if it's not,
Is that slope any different than what was there before?
Yeah,
Steeper-
big, yeah.
steeper? Is it steeper? Okay.
I've heard
And not
comments.
walls, because remember the
I was gonna
road
say it was just a
Right,
road.
that's-
Right.
So there was a retaining wall.
Yeah.
You're not really thinking they would go over the edge of that, are you? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, no, oh, yeah, they would.
Mhm.
Oh, they definitely would.
Should we put another fence up? Because that's a thing here nowadays.
Well, it has to be an attractive fence. Well, could we put like but obviously it's up to Brad. I mean, maybe it isn't as much of a, what do they call the beach? A attractive nuisance.
Yes.
Well, could they put one of those like face things like they have at Ms.
I mean,
Park?
you could put, I don't know, attachments that, we could put attachments there, you know, or signage, or what's,
But we are going to have a path that goes down so that people can step onto the lake to skate or do whatever
Mhm.
there.
there's going to be a path, okay.
Well, I thought there's always been one that's been.
But is it a herd path, or do we actually plow it or shovel it, or is it maintained as far, I just,
I don't know
We've
what.
never had steps before, so we'll have to decide this
Yes, we
winter
have.
which.
It's always been.
It's been steps, yes.
Maybe that's something we
We've had a
can.
while to walk around.
There were steps.
Right, but now we have
onto the
actual
ice.
steps. We're gonna have to decide if we're gonna keep clear
No,
or not.
but I'm talking about from the land onto the ice, we've had steps.
Right, but we're also gonna have to think about
Temporary
the other
steps.
stairs, whether we're gonna close those off for the winter. But
my only reasoning for mentioning it is that I've been in a couple of meetings where people have commented on how nice Brewster Park is, and then what are you going to do this winter?
Should we talk to Brad about it and have him have a recommendation for the 30th?
Well,
I'll
that,
talk to him.
yeah,
Okay, but we can.
maybe
we can
to
decide
him
what
it's
we
not an issue, but I'm thinking. it might be.
We'll take a look.
We'll watch it, there's Jackie just sliding down or something.
And the issue of the
Jason, I
the
can't. wait to
wall
get
has
it.
to be resolved, right?
The gazing
See.
walls. That's my no. Okay, nothing
We're
to
gonna-
come up
No.
under there.
Jason, trust me.
Any commissioner reports, although I think that's what we're doing.
Everyone appreciated the updates at the LPBA meeting. Talked about that, and everyone had good things to say about the construction in general. There was really no complaints, so
What else is new with the LPBA?
I'm not secretary anymore. So it's
I'm just.
I'm with me. No real hot topic.
Any feedback about smoking?
Mhm.
No?
They didn't like it, but
Well,
that's kind of where it ended.
Well, it will sift itself out. I mean, there are places on Main Street that are private property. We'll just have to see how those things go.
I will tomorrow.
Okay, no other commissioner reports. Any public comments? Any other questions? Other than where were we the first 20 minutes? And I think you explained that for those that are on. This popped up with 2 meetings apparently, and we clicked on the meeting and thought we had it. We had the wrong one, and we had to go click the other one. Once again, we apologize for that. So with no other comments to come, we have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
But good night.
Jason, it sounds like